What do they do defensively?
They run. They've got a really nice package. They run. They're a team that runs a lot of quarters coverage, which probably doesn't mean a lot to the normal fan, but it's a matchup zone. And they do some things with their front. They're a team that moves a lot. They present issues just in their scheme alone.
Last week you kind of indicated that you like to go with two running backs. You wound up having three effective guys again. What's the deal?
It just worked out that way, to be honest with you. It's just the way the game transpired. Dom came in, really earned his time in the second quarter. We put him in to do a little cleanup work, and before the half, we were really working our way out of the minus territory there, and he started running really well. But that's part of the deal. That if you want playing time, the motivation is to play well. So he played well, and Kenny ended up rolling all three of those guys after that point.
Would you see Dominique as maybe sort of a third down back?
He has been. That's where he went into that game as our third down back. He went in as the nickel back. He went in as the short yardage back. And then, like we're talking about, he had that really good series there before the second, and then the second quarter right before the second half. And he garnered more time. He did a nice job. Ran hard, ran physical.
Wow.
Sean, what issues are you trying to fix this week, or kind of focused on?
The things that we need to fix, really, we had some miscues with our passing game. I had some receivers really actually run the wrong routes, wrong depths. That's the first time that's happened in 2 years. And, probably some of that's just due to guys not listening in the huddle. Every play begins, the execution of the play is by listening, comprehending what's been called. And we had some throws. Everybody thought Teddy was having a bad day. Well, not really. Teddy, some of the receivers were ran the wrong routes. They had the wrong conversions on. So, we're working at bringing our game back to detail this week.
Is that kind of a byproduct of maybe playing on the road for the first time?
It probably was playing two things. It was playing on the road for the first time in a big game. I think they both go together. I mean, these kids, obviously, that's a very important game to them and to us. And, there was, I think lost our poise, because that's totally uncharacteristic of what, we're about every day out here. So it's an easy fix. We got their attention at halftime. We got their, attention now, after showing them the film and seeing the errors. They're embarrassing because there are things that, we do in our sleep.
When you made those, adjustments in the run game, is that something that was only for Kentucky's defense, what they were presenting, or can that go forward?
It's something that they, it was what they were doing, that we, they didn't run that front to begin with. They hadn't shown it. And when we got on to exactly, what it was that we were getting and then how they were playing it, it was a pretty quick fix, because, the things that we have in our package allowed us, two schemes that we have really allowed us to attack that. And we have those two schemes for that reason. So it allows us, we carry a pretty healthy, volume into a game, just so that if we're given something different, we can adjust easier and quicker.
What's it say about Teddy that he didn't let on to any of that after the game?
No, he's just great character. I mean, he's never going to hang out anybody, and he's always going to work his way through it. He kept his poise and he kept battling, and just he knew that everybody would fix it, and he just has a lot of faith and trust, and he's just not going to ever sell anybody out. I mean, he's just who he is.
Sean, what are the things that you would like to see improved with the offensive line, if anything?
I like the way our offensive line thumped in that ball game. I thought that they, for the first time this year, I really felt them, on a consistent basis. Once we, got them squared away on what we were getting and what it was, our adjustment was, they really played well. They played physical. I'd like to see that continue and see that, become consistent now.
Was it good to have Cam Joyer back in there?
Yeah, it was. It helps out a ton. Cam has a lot of experience from a year ago that we felt, as I've said before, that we felt like he was becoming a starter and really earned a starter's role. And he brings that experience. So having him back on a full-time basis was huge.
How have those guys now, 3 games in, the guys that have moved to different spots around the line, or Jake or Jermon or any of those guys, how have they adjusted?
They've done well. I think Jake's been a good adjustment for us at the offensive center because he's got leadership. He understands exactly what's going on in our offense and how to fix things at the line of scrimmage, how to get everybody on the same page. He's a great communicator up there. That's been really big for us. And John and Jermon have been a good team working together. And one of the things I think we're starting to see, it really showed itself in this game. Was the fact that we're starting to get that a relationship and chemistry built between with Cam back in now and Ryan, or Cam and Nacho. So that's helped out.
How much did those guys kind of clicking account for the second half, especially?
Well, all that because there's so much communication, and so you do so much work together. They spend every day of the week preparing for a game, working together, and those guys having Cam back even last week at practice was huge in the calls. There wasn't any hesitation. He's a very athletic guy. So, and he could, because he can run and bend so well, he's just, he's really good at, what we do. And we use him to do a lot of pin pull stuff and zone schemes. So it really helped out just having him back.
Coach, what do you need to see this week as far as improvement-wise, and not the score, but when you're playing, when you're at such a heavy favor, what do you want to see as on offense?
We need to play clean football for 4 quarters. That's our biggest challenge in front of us right now. We can be really, really explosive, and we can, but we haven't been. We've been quarters, we've been halves, but we haven't been an entire game yet. So that's our biggest task right now. I told the guys on Sunday, I said, it's the way it is around here. We're always chasing perfection, and we have not played a clean game yet. We need to put a clean quarter, a clean half, and a clean game together.
Is using Dominic Brown maybe the best way as that wrecking ball in that third quarter when the other team kind of gets tired?
Well, I think the same can be said for Michael. They're the same type of runners. They're both bruisers, and Sonaris is the changeup. He's the fast guy. So he brings a different tempo to the run game. But, both of those guys definitely help out in those kind of situations. And we went into that game wanting to run the football, and I was really happy that we had over 200 yards rushing.
All right, guys.